Hello, Algebra 2 students, for Mr. Fry. I am looking at the solving quadratic equations by factoring. And I'm going to take you through the odd ones. There is one even one that I have to address because the odd one asks about it. So taking a look at number one, remember we're just trying to figure out something we can multiply together, two numbers we could multiply together back here in order to get this number. And when we add them together, we'll get this. So I have x squared, so I know I'm going to have two x's, right? But then I need a negative and a positive. So I'm going to have I'm going to have two negatives when I multiply them together become a positive. So negative 5 and negative 1 become 5. When I add in remembering the FOIL method, and when I take the first times the first, that gives me the x squared. The outsides, so the outside, so I have 1x, negative 1x, plus the inside, negative 5x. Negative 1x plus negative 5x gives me the negative 6x. And then the last, I'm multiplying this 5 times the 1, the negatives, and that gives me the positive 5. So remember the FOIL method when you're looking at doing these. This one, I called Mr. Fry and found out that this number should be a 6, so it should look like this because you can't factor this one. So if you change this to a negative 6x, you can factor it and it should come out like this. When I multiply these two together, I get a negative 40. When I add these two together, negative 10 and a 4, with the x's, outsides and insides, I get a negative 6x. I had to do number 4. And what I do is I end up just getting 2x plus 5s. Well, that is just x plus 5 squared. Because number 5 asks, what is the difference that you notice about problem number 4? So problem number 4 is different because you could just, it's the same thing in both parentheses. So you could just put it together and have it squared. Moving on to the zeros or roots, the quadratic equation, when the roots, zeros are given, is you take you have x squared minus the sum of the roots, x, plus the product of the roots, equals 0. So, taking a look at that, with that in mind, for number 7, create the quadratic equation with zeros of negative 1 and 3. So I'm adding them here and I'm multiplying them here. Okay? And so when I add them together, I get 2. When I multiply them together, I get negative 3. And then I just get rid of the parentheses and I get x squared. That's supposed to be squared. It's supposed to be a little 2 up there. X squared minus 2x and minus 3. And then this one, I'm pretty sure this is what they're talking about. Create a quadratic equation with a 0 of 5. So the only root would be 5. And that would be like your number 4 from the previous page, x plus 5, and just squared. That would be 2x plus 5s. Well, and then the quadratic equation form of that would be, if I was to write it out, x2 plus 10x plus 25. Okay, all right, hopefully this helps, and good luck with the rest.